Hello everyone, this is Petra Jordan. I'm in Los Angeles right now with Judy Stakee. Judy Stakee is a music publisher, artist mentor, and author and a speaker based in Los Angeles. She has signed and developed artists including Katy, Sheryl Crow, Gavin, DeGraw, Joy Williams, and John Shanks. She was the Senior Vice President of Creative at Warner Chappell Music from 1989 until 2009. And she's also the founder of the Judy Stakee Company, an artist development company based in Los Angeles. And that is the reason why I'm here, because I have just finished this amazing songwriting retreat with Judy almost a couple of weeks ago. And I was so inspired that I want to bring it to the Netherlands.
Yay.
So I have a few
idea.
Questions for you, Judy.
Okay.
First of all, thank you for finding the time to do this interview. And I'd like to know what else you could tell us about yourself.
Well, my one big, huge passion is to make sure that songwriters have a creative process in order to make their art. I've been developing and managing songwriters for so long. I mean, that's all I've done my whole entire life. And making sure that they have a place to go, that they have tools, that they have the time, for this business, for the entertainment business, for the music business to survive, for it to even exist. Songwriters have to write great songs for the rest of their lives. Because otherwise Kelly Clarkson doesn't have a single, Faith Hill doesn't have a single, even Katy Perry doesn't have a single unless, they write for the rest of their lives great songs. And to write a great song, you need inspiration, you need nurturing, you need protection, you need a lot of things in order to be able to make that every single day. I mean, there's some people out there that make one product and they make Coca-Cola and they make money and that's it. And I'm not saying that's all they do, but with a songwriter, you have to create something. You have to create a different Coca-Cola every single day. And so it is a tiring process. It's a very alone process. It can be, even when you're maybe doing it with one other person, it's still an alone process. And so I have this passion in me to make sure that everyone has the right tools and the right space and the right time in order to do that, because I think that's you get a leg up when you really pay attention to that and don't just without and I should say with intention. And that's the other thing that's very big for me, and what I'm all about is to go into things with intention. I find that the results are so much better when you have a plan that you put in place to begin with.
True, and this is one of the things that really appealed to me about your retreat as well, the power of the intention.
Thank you.
So, so tell us about the retreats. It all starts with a song.
It all starts with a song. When I left Warner Chappell, I'll start here. When I left Warner Chappell, one of the things that I decided to do with my new company was that I was going to teach a songwriting workshop out of my home. And so I opened it up to 6 to 8 songwriters, and it was an 8-week-long workshop. And it followed my methodology that I had created. And I would take them through this process, and it was wonderful. I mean, I did that for 8 years out of my house, and I would do 8 weeks on, a month off, 8 weeks on, a month off. And then I was doing an intermediate one. So I was teaching pretty much all the time. And then I live in Studio City, California, and even to go 4 miles to get to my house on a Monday night at 7 o'clock can take you an hour. And to come,
confirm.
You can confirm. I mean, it's ridiculous. And so, and then you really only can go to 10 o'clock because people have to get up and go to work the next day. So you have to spread this whole thing over 8 weeks. Doing a retreat, it's all condensed. I mean, you come in on a Monday, you leave on a Friday, and that's all you do is you're thinking about music, and you're being absorbed. You are absorbing, and you are being taught, and you are being inspired, and you are meeting new people, and you are bonding, and you're being challenged, and it is really exciting, and I believe it's what it takes in order to jumpstart a career, no matter where you are. If you're jumpstarting at the beginning or you're jumpstarting in the middle or at the end, in order to jumpstart yourself to get to that next record, to that next project, to that next song, we all need food. We all need that supply, and that's why I started the retreats, was so that we could just go away and do it in a condensed version. And I think people learn faster that way. You know, it's a quicker process.
Yeah.
So that's what they are. They're a grown-up camp, a grown-up vacation for adults who, you know, really want, or teens too, but whoever wants to further their career.
Yeah, and I can confirm that within the limited amount of time that we had, we were able to do amazing things, because the time pressure also makes a big difference.
What I do is I simulate what a day looks like. If you want to succeed in this business, in any business, in any career, there are things that you have to put in place. And I always say is that if you want your voice, your lyrics, and your melody to be great, which is, you know, the integration which makes a song, then you're going to have to develop yourself, which is your body, mind, and soul, for the rest of your lives. And so in the retreats, we start with an hour of yoga. We have an hour for breakfast, and it's all healthy, and it's organic, and it's, you know, it's whatever your dietary needs are. And then there's 2.5, 3 hours of workshops and of videos and songs and questions and homework. Then we have lunch. I think it's up. And then there's the afternoon of writing a song in 3 hours with two people you have never met before, or just met, I should say. And then there's dinner, and then there's showcasing the songs that you just wrote that day. And when you get to the end of this week, all of a sudden you realize I've written 3 songs, I've done 3 hours of yoga, I've taken 3 hours out of every day to eat, I've learned something new, I've bonded with 27 new people, and I did that all in a week. I mean, that's pretty amazing.
That is pretty amazing. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So, what inspired you to do these retreats?
Well, what really inspired me was...
Although you partially answered that question in the previous one, but yeah.
To reach more people.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, that was I mean, the traffic, you know, all of that was one thing, but to reach more people. Yeah. You know, I really believe that the more writers have this information, the more successful they can become, and whatever that means. I mean, not everybody's going to have Britney Spears's, you know, her career and dancing on stage. Some of you might just, you know, do a show at home once a month, you know, or one of you, you know, might write a book and write music to it, or write a children's song, or just, you know, write songs for your kids because you want to. I mean, or play for your family. You know, I had one gentleman come to the retreats who really wanted to teach his kids music, and wanted to be able to sing with them and play and pass this along. You know, he didn't get to do it, you know, as far as he wanted to, and I just thought that was beautiful. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. So it's really about the mastery of the art.
Absolutely.
And I like that as well. So that's the end.
It's a great word, mastery of the art. Yeah.
Great. So what are the main takeaways for the participants? I know what it was for me, but I would like you to share your perspective.
I think that, first of all, to set intentions, you know, really big one, that they have to find their own perspective. You just said the word, but it's huge in my book, is that this is all about you. And I want to make sure that when the participants leave, they know how to access their own beliefs and their own needs and their own wants, and to stand in them and not excuse them. You know, most people, it's like, oh, I can't take, you know, I can't make it all about me, or, you know, somebody will think I'm selfish, or somebody will think I'm too egotistical, and I'm like, so what?
Yeah.
So what? You're being a little selfish, you know. You're not hurting anybody in it, you know. Yeah. But it's about standing in your own power. It's about the intention. It's about learning your own perspective.
Definitely. And I would even add learning how to communicate on the creative process, which was definitely challenging.
And with when you're with 26 other writers who you don't know, and you're forced into a situation where it's like you have to make a product in 3 hours. Yeah. There's not a lot of dilly-dallying. It's kind of like, okay, do you like this? Yes, let's go on. You know. Yeah. So you have to be willing to stand up and say, no, I'm not crazy about that. Let's try something else. And that's hard to do. But once you learn the proper and, you know, the right way to do it, you know, there's a finesse to it.
Yeah.
You know? So
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So what happens after the retreat? That was something that I got really excited about. So
well, what's really great now is that I've been doing these for a year and a half now. And I have 2 more in Tennessee in 2 weeks, and there's just a few more spots open. But I now, after those retreats, I'll have over 300 alumni, which is huge. I mean, when we started, you know, it was like, oh, the first 21, yay. But now that I have 300, we have a huge community.
Yeah.
And this community now, as it's growing stronger and bigger, is starting to really depend on each other. So we have a Facebook alumni page, which everyone that's gone is now, you're the only ones on it. So anybody that's taking the retreat. And what's wonderful about taking the retreat is that you've gone through the same process that somebody else has. So if I've been in workshop, you know, in retreat number 3 and you're in retreat number 11, and we co-write together, we can depend on the fact, we can count on the fact that we have gone through the same experience, and so we have the same training, we have the same respect, we've seen the same videos, we've done the same homework, so we're at the same place, so the communication is easier because it's like, oh, I can actually say to you, Petra, I'm not crazy about that.
Yeah.
You know, it maybe go great for the bridge. Can we hold on to that and try something else here instead of just going, that stinks, you're awful, go away, you know, or not saying anything, or not saying anything and going, God, I'm not sure that that's great, but I don't want to, you know, make any mess or, you know, hurt anybody's feelings. And it's like, it's not about that. It's about getting the song right. So the communication is great, but this, like I said, the community is starting to really work with each other. And like I said, songwriting, the process is such a lone process that now if you go to Nashville, well, we have maybe 3 dozen retreaters that have come from Nashville. Yeah. So you can go down there and say, we had a retreater move there just a couple weeks ago and reached out, and she's got 4 writing appointments.
There you go.
She went and saw Milo perform. She's in with that gang. I mean, and it's like great because it's a tribe. It's a family, you know, and that's what I wanted to create. Is I wanted to create this place, just like I had at Warner Chapel with all my writers. Is this place where, you know, you could actually, you know, I know we're going to talk about the Netherlands, coming to the Netherlands, but you could actually go, I've rented a house, you know, in about 20 minutes on a lake from here, and there's 6 spots open. Who wants to come and write with me for the weekend? And you can have 6 people go, I'll be there, and host your own little mini camp.
Yeah. Exactly, which is what I'm planning to do as
well. There you go. Absolutely. So many writers have done that after the camps. We've had so many mini little camps. We have a couple of critique sessions going on. So, you know, you have 4 people on Skype, and they all play each other's songs, and they critique each other.
Because they learn from you how to do
that. They learn from me, yes. Yeah. And a lot of them will come, like, afterwards, you know, and go, okay, now I'm ready for you to critique it. But it's like, it's so wonderful that they use the community before they get to me, you know, and that's how you learn, because the whole point is to learn how to self-critique. Right. So that you're going, oh, okay, there's too much sugar, there's not enough salt, there's, you know, whatever the ingredients are. Yeah. For
sure. Yeah, that's really exciting, the fact that there's a continuation of the retreat after the retreat is over. So that is, for me, that was one of the most exciting realizations or points after the retreat, just to know that, oh my God, it's not over, it's going to continue. No. In the virtual world, but also in the actual physical world, if you reach out to people.
2 other things that we're working on is that I've got one participant who really wants to be a song plugger.
Right.
And so I'm starting to teach her how to be a song plugger, and she's going to use the community's songs that, you know, as her catalog.
That's amazing.
You know, I mean, we'll have to get agreements with everybody that they want their songs pitched, but I'm going to raise a song plugger in this community. And also film and television. Somebody has come forward and said, I would love to pitch for film and TV. I'm like, well, if you want to do it, I'll show you how to do it, and let's go.
Fantastic.
Yeah. No.
Fantastic. No. And can you explain for the listeners what is a song plugger, just in case somebody doesn't know that?
A song plugger is actually what I was called. I was, my title, it was Senior Vice President of Warner Chapel Music, but in theory, I was a song plugger. So what that meant was that, so I had over 25 songwriters signed to me that were staff songwriters, that all they did was write songs for Faith Hill and Britney Spears and Josh Groban, whoever needed it. And they would come into my office and go, here's my song. And I would either go, it needs work, go change it, or it's perfect, let me go pitch it to Josh Groban. So I would plug their songs into projects. So that's how we became known as song pluggers. It's a term from the 1920s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, wonderful. That's much clearer. Great. So what would it take to bring you to the Netherlands? Because I so want to do it.
Well, Delta can get me there just fine, but once I'm there, I need a retreat center. And I have to say, we would probably be going to a lot more places if I could find the right retreat centers. And as you know, coming from to California, I'm very picky about where I do this. So if you're on my website, you can see pictures of where I've chosen.
Beautiful.
But the space has got to be open and wide and beautiful, because we love it when the writers can go outside and write, and so they don't have to be stuck inside in a writer's room. So the grounds are beautiful. The grounds have to be, special in some way. I love water on the property, even if it's just a little lake or something.
No problem in the Netherlands.
In Menla, we had that. In Canada, we had that. And in, someplace else. I can't think of it. In France. In France, we had that too. I have to have 30 beds. So that's the other thing, is that I can have 3 beds in a room, but to have 1 king, I can't put 2 people that don't know each other in a king bed.
Yeah,
so,
fair enough.
It's not that kind of a retreat.
No.
So I need we had one place in France, actually, that was 1 king bed, and then a full bed, and then another bed. So we got 3 people in,
Right.
It's a great room. So 30 beds, so that's, that could be 10, 12 rooms. And then about this, about 10 bathrooms, in that area. A large dining hall so everyone can dine together. If they don't have provide food, we can always hire a cook in. I've done that in Nashville. A place, a big enough room to do yoga in, which also can be, it can double as the workshop room.
Sure.
Like we did in California.
Exactly.
So there's only been, in France, they had a yoga studio at the top of the mill. So we didn't, and we had a big living room space at the bottom. So it was the only place we got a yoga studio and a workshop studio. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Nice. And what kind of people are you looking for?
In
terms of as participants?
I'm looking for writers who want to further their career. It's not specifically for beginners. Now, I've had beginners there that are more than beginners. They knew how to write a song. They may have been, I've taken a 14, a 15, a 16-year-old, and they were all very beginning, but boy, did they know how to write songs. It was just, they'd been taught early, they'd been learning, they just had something to them. But I want someone who knows how to write a song, who knows how to fill out an application, who knows how to get their things produced. Or even if they're not produced, it's like, even if they're not produced, it's how they present them. It's how they present themselves. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. So what kind of presentation would that mean at the the most simple level?
At the simple level, the presentation is about is about reading the application and following directions. I can't tell you how many times we ask for a link to a YouTube or to a SoundCloud, so we can just press on the link. You have to understand, we get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of applications. So when you have someone that says, well, go to YouTube and look up, it's like, no, I'm not going to go to YouTube and look up. And because I've done that before, and then they're not there, and it's spelled differently, and it's like, no. So it's little things like that in knowing how to present yourself. And, we have a demographic that's older also. I have 50, 60-year-olds who gave it up and want to go back and continue it. Now, those that have come back, do that, they're amazing musicians. They're great writers. I mean, they also know what they're doing. But if I had someone who was older who was having a hard time, and it was like, may I suggest, go hire somebody for $50. Go hire your kid's kid, or go hire, a neighborhood kid, or somebody that, that came out of the womb with, a computer hitched to them. But I keep interns around for just that point, is that, if you don't know how to make a link, if you don't, then get somebody in to help you do this and teach you to do it, because it's not that hard. But I always say, it's like, I want an A+ student. Okay. Everybody's got talent. Your talent will also get better. But if you're not that A+ student, and you're not like, what do I have to do? I can't do it for you.
10% inspiration, 90%
perspiration. Yeah, exactly.
We're on the same page. Wonderful. Yeah, so other than the retreats, I know that you offer other services for artists, and I'd like to know what they are.
So you could start out by watching my door-to-door series on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I go around and I interview quite a few successful songwriters, and they talk about their process. That is all free, and I have I have a few tutorials on YouTube also that people can listen to. You know, the difference, like joining a performing rights society. I do a little blurb on that, a few little of those, and then going from that, I wrote a book called The Songwriter Survival Guide, which takes you through my methodology that if you want your song to be great, which is the integration of your voice, your melody, and your lyric, then you're going to have to develop your body, your mind, and your soul for the rest of your life. And it takes you through that process and what you really need to put in place to become a songwriter. Mm-hmm. From there, I do song critiques, which you can send me a song in and with the lyrics, and then I Skype you back, and we discuss what needs to change, what needs to be edited, or so forth, to make your song better. And then I also do one-on-one consultations, right. Which can be done in person or in Skype, and basically that's all about you. It's you have me for a full hour, and what do you need? What do you need to put in place to get to your career? So I help you navigate and put a map in place of the steps that you need to take right now in order to go there. Because most people come in and it's like, you know, they're so scared, and they get, you know, they're fearful of success, and they're scared of not failing. They're all of it. And it's like, that's way out here. Yeah. That success is way out here. It's like, let's just start with these steps right here. Yeah. So I do the one-on-one consultations, and then I do my retreats. So those are all the ways that you can get to me and work with me, starting from free to a retreat. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, and that's so essential also, because I feel that artists or songwriters, whatever, don't get enough guidance in their career, and that's so amazing that you started to do that. In fact, that's why I'm inspired to do workshops myself, because right. I feel that it's lacking, and yeah, so it's great. But
well, they always got it, like in corporate America, that's what my job was. At Warner Chapel, I signed these writers, and they had access to me every single day, 24 hours a day. It was like, you know, so, you know, I recently did an interview about Sheryl Crow, which I hadn't talked about it in a long time, but went back and realized that Sheryl Crow, like the development, took a year. That was it. Yeah. But she was with me every single day. She lived with me for like 3 months of that. So there was this constant, like, I like this, I don't like this, what do you think of this, what do you think of that? And that's how it grew so exponentially. Okay. And that's why, like I said, the retreats are great, because it's just, you kickstart it, you know, and again, songwriters don't have a lot of places to go to get, like, how do I do this? Yeah, you know.
So that's fantastic that you decided to take it out of the corporate music world into whatever you call this, the free
my world,
your world, the internet world, you know.
Yeah,
great. So what are the plans for the future?
Plans for the future. Well, I have 11 retreats on the books for next year, and with 2 more not scheduled, because I'm waiting to see if we're going to do one in the Netherlands. Okay. But I have between Tennessee, Northern California, and New York, I'm doing 11 retreats. Awesome. We're going to do some kind of alumni, like a 2-day like convention kind of thingy-majig. Where we're going to start. We're going to start giving out Song of the Year and Songwriter of the Year from this community. Wow. I've started on my second book, which is the autobiography of a song plugger. So it's my stories of my writers and songs and how they came to be, more in depth. Like the Sheryl Crow story is like 30 pages long, just from my perspective of, you know, how that whole thing came to be. Right now, I think that's right there's enough. But
that's,
you know,
pretty good. That's pretty good already.
I'm building this community. So that we really that it is a place where the A&R and managers and, you know, agents, they can come to this community and know that there's quality. Yeah. You know, and that you know, there's going to be that chunk in the middle, but there's going to be the ones that rise to the top, and those are going to help everybody else. And you know, I want it to be a rich and exciting community that just that feeds on each other. You know.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I love the vision already.
Yeah.
So great. Well, that's pretty much it for today. Thank you so much for finding the time.
Absolutely.
And I will do my best to share this with as many people in the Netherlands as I can.
Okay.
And I'll be keeping you posted on what's next. So.
I should tell you in your community, too, that on Sundays, on Facebook Live at noon LA time, so convert that in
9 hours.
Google, 9 hours.
So it's 9
So 9 in the evening, I do an hour Facebook Live talk, so anybody can come and ask me questions about songwriting, publishing, dogs, food, whatever you want to talk to me about. But I do that, so if your community wants further communication or with me, then that's a great place to do it.
Wonderful. And Judy's very accessible during those Facebook Lives. I've tried it, and she always answers all the questions. So definitely give it a shot.
And then some.
On this, yes. All right. Well, thank you again. And
thanks for coming over.
Yeah, thank you too.
Yeah.
It was great. Thank you.
Petra.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.